are going to learn how adding a submitted sample global field will affect the sample management page in the UI. If there is a field that you want to be applied to your submitted sample or your parent sample, the first thing you need to do is configure the field. First, click on the Configuration tab. Then click on Custom Fields. Then click on Global Fields. And then we're going to find Submitted Sample. The submitted sample fields are going to be a field that could be associated with any sample accessioned into the system. You can expand out the fields in this section by clicking the arrow next to the submitted sample name. I'm going to add a field called JM-Test1. Click the green plus button, and your field needs a name. This field has to be unique to the other fields in the submitted sample grouping. If you try to use a name that is already in use, you will get an error. Once you give the field a name, do not, I repeat, do not press Save yet. The immediate next thing you should do is define the field type. You have a few different options for this configuration. You can select text or text dropdown, which will be alphanumeric. You can select numeric or numeric dropdown, which will be numbers only. You can select hyperlink or hyperlink dropdown, which will appear as a link in the UI. You can select multi-line text. This configuration is not the most ideal for submitted samples because in the UI, it does not appear as a multi-line view for submitted samples. You can select a toggle switch, where in the submitted sample management page, this will appear not as a toggle, but it should have the option of true or false. Or the date field, which is brought into the system as a date format. For now, I'm going to make this field a text field. And once you have confirmed that the field name and field type is what you want, then click Save. After you hit Save, you'll notice that the field type gets locked in. This is why we do not want to click Save right away. Now, we're going to go over to the Projects and Samples tab. I'm going to create a new project. And add samples through the sample management page. What I will see now is if I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, my new field, JM-Test1, is going to now be accessible to my newly submitted samples. After I click Submit, and hover over the I next to my samples, I can see the metadata that's now associated with my new field. So some things to keep in mind while using this method is 1, you will see all the configured submitted sample fields on the sample management screen. And 2, if you want a certain field to be associated with the submitted sample, you need to configure it before you can accession the sample.